Yeah, hi there. These comments are for 8651. I'm just using the last four digits of your student number for privacy purposes, and I am Professor Buckoff, your English 106 instructor here at California State University, San Bernardino for spring quarter 2015. And thank you for doing the writing assignment. And I'm taking a look at it right now, so I think we had a lot of trouble. I actually had a lot of trouble with this particular essay. So the main thing is, if you look closely at the writing assignment, it'll say your assignment is to write a short comparison and or contrast essay emphasizing either similarities and or differences between your writing process and those of or that of Marius. So in the beginning of your essay, it isn't really clear what is being compared or contrasted. So let me just read what you say in the beginning, and I want to compare what you wrote to another student in the class. So you say, Richard Marius thinks it's a good idea to list points he wants to cover, make an outline before actually writing the essay. He wants us to keep an open mind to new ideas that pop into our heads as we write. Then he wants us to print it out and go somewhere else to read it. To be willing to make changes to our drafts. Last but not least, retype everything as a second draft. How would you write an essay? But the way that you frame this, you end the paragraph with a question. Remember that what you do in the paragraph, and particularly near the end of that paragraph in your thesis, that has a way of moving the essay in a certain direction. So it isn't clear from your introduction exactly what's being compared and or contrasted. All right, so let's compare what you wrote with this essay. It says, in the article Writing Drafts, the author Richard Marius describes his own writing process as a guide to help other writers. Richard Marius, a graduate of Yale University and director of the expository writing program at Harvard University, is qualified to be helpful and engaging to other writers because he is a distinguished writer himself. However, Marius is more of an experienced writer and has accomplished many achievements with his writing. When reading the Writing Drafts article, I found many similarities in our writing process. Here's the key. Now, it's not just saying, the writer is saying that I found many similarities, but she doesn't stop there. Here is the thesis. Pay attention to this. It says, especially when writing the first draft, we both believe it is best to write nonstop for an hour and to be open to new ideas that differ from our original outline. So that's one key point in the thesis. This writer, it took her 3 different sentences to write the thesis for the essay, but it really helps in framing and focusing the body paragraph. She also says, also in the second draft, we both make radical changes to cut out information that does not connect to the thesis or add information to edit and restructure our essays. And that's it. So then the writer, when the writer gets to the body paragraph, she says in paragraph 2, when writing the first draft of her essay, Marius and I are similar because we both believe it is best to commit to our writing by staying on task for at least an hour. So that topic sentence, it names exactly what's being compared. In this case, it's about writing nonstop for an hour. Now, if I look at your first paragraph or your first body paragraph, you say, he first wants us to make a list of good ideas, then make an outline. But that sentence, that leading sentence, doesn't do much to frame the paragraph. First of all, you're just mentioning what Marius says. That doesn't prepare the reader for the discussion of your process. So the topic sentence needs to set up what you say in the whole paragraph, not just half of the paragraph. So let's go to another paragraph in this student's essay. She says, Marius and I are also similar when writing the first draft because we're both open to new ideas, even if they differ from our original outline. Notice how this second topic sentence, it connects back to another key point in the thesis, which is being open to new ideas. So the thesis and the topic sentences, they're going back and forth. They connect back and forth. But you didn't do that. Your introduction really has no thesis. And then the body paragraphs really don't explicitly explain what's happening in the paragraph. You basically start with detail information. In your third paragraph, you say, also he wanted us to be open to new ideas. Now, if you wanted to reframe that and say something like this: Mars and I are somewhat similar when it comes to being open to new ideas in our papers. If you said something like that in the beginning of the paragraph, that would give the paragraph a label and be much easier for your reader to understand what's happening. So the way that you're writing, it's a little confusing, because if you have no purpose in the beginning of the writing, or you say, how would you write your essay, that really has nothing to do with what the writing assignment is. The whole purpose of the beginning, or the thesis of the essay, is to introduce how you're similar or how you're different to writing's process with your own, to Marius's writing process and your own, right? So let me go to the next paragraph to this student. She says, notice the transition here. When editing the second draft of her essay, Marius and I both like to make radical changes to cut out information that does not connect to the thesis, or add information to edit or restructure our essays. So again, the topic sentence in that paragraph, it ties back to the key point in the thesis, where she says in the first paragraph, she says we both make radical changes to cut out information that doesn't connect to our thesis. So there's a good kind of connection going back and forth, something that you didn't do. Now I'm curious as to why, though. Why are you choosing not to do that? So number one, do you want to make sure you read the assignment and understand what you're being asked to do? If you have questions about the writing assignment, please come by my office. I will be very happy to discuss the writing assignment with you, no joke. And you can also go to the Writing Center, and the tutors there will also be more than happy to take a look at an outline. Maybe you want to work on an outline before you write the paper. You can bring the outline to the Writing Center. Now, if you go to the Writing Center, make sure you bring a copy of your writing assignment, and then, of course, you can show them the outline and what you're trying to do, and they will also give you some feedback. Okay, so anyway, I'm probably taking too much time in this video. I apologize. Overall, you lost a lot of points in many categories. So to put it mildly, you had 21 points out of 40. That puts your essay at 53%. So that's kind of where you are right now. So you have a no credit on this one. Now, don't have a heart attack yet. This is just 10% of your grade. You still have many, many things to do in this class. But you're going to have to move up a little bit. You're going to have to pick up your game a little bit if you want to score higher on the next paper. So I really expect maybe two main things from you in the next paper. Number one, you want to make sure you have a very sharply focused thesis that helps frame what's going to happen in the paper. Number one. Number two, make sure that you create clearly labeled topic sentences in the body paragraphs that state the purpose of each of those paragraphs. Now, if you have trouble with any one of those areas, if you need help with your thesis or your topic sentences, please, you can come by my office. I'll be happy to help you a little bit. You can also go to the Writing Center, and they will also be happy to help you in any way you like. So you can do this, but you got to get a little more organized than you are. All right? Anyway, thank you very much for completing the assignment, and I look forward to reading your next paper.